Welcome back, everybody. This game is called Survivalist Invisible Strain. This is an early access game on Steam. It's a zombie game that starts off closer to Project Zomboid. There's full character customization with skill builds and uh, deciding what gear you bring. You drop into a somewhat random location and you have to start scavenging for more gear. And then it expands to something closer to a state of decay where you have a full community and you have to manage resources like food and building supplies and safety and relationships with other communities, that sort of thing. So yeah, let's just hop right into it. I'm going to skip character customization because that's going to take a while. So we just loaded in, and I opted to be a trapper. That starts me with a backpack, an axe, and a shovel, as well as a pretty good variety of skills, at least in my limited experience. Luckily, I started next to a couple cars to loot. The map is procedurally generated, and I've seen all sorts of random, different types of spawns, some good, some bad. Now, this is a community, and I'm a little hesitant to approach them, even though the objective does say to find a friendly community, because I've started right next to hostile communities before, and yeah, that's not fun to have a whole army of people not liking you, but luckily this is friendly. So I'm going to go in and check it out. This will be a good source of trading in the future. Maybe eventually a good source of people, but there's no way that me as a lone person is going to be able to pull away any, person from an established community at this point. Maybe in the future if I have a nice base set up, but we'll have to see. So I'm going to do a little bit of trading and looking around here, and then we'll, do a little bit more looting. So I just left town and I'm headed up the road looking for some more loot. One thing to mention about this game, the zombies are closer to 28 days later zombies. Oh, and there's our first one. They're more like, running rage virus zombies rather than the slow Romero zombies. They can even leap at you. Oh, yep, there we go. They can even leap at you. So what you want to do is always target their legs first. I'm playing on slightly easier difficulty, so half of all zombies will have damaged legs to start with. You'll see why that's important here pretty soon. So imagine if both of these were running at me at once. That would be pretty crazy. I'm focusing the legs, and you can see when legs are damaged, on the kind of targeting reticule, their legs will be dashed instead of solid lines. So yeah, once I've disabled their legs, I go for the head, and I can target that because I started off with decent hand-to-hand combat fighting. I guess even though I'm using an axe, it is hand-to-hand combat. I'm gathering their clothes because I can rip their clothes to make rags. I won't do that forever, but right starting off, it's a nice way to get some extra rags. And it looks like I'm approaching a town, yeah. So there's a whole jumbo jet. Okay, but there are going to be a lot of zombies here, so I want to take this very slowly. So yeah, just keep targeting the legs. You could see how the legs there went from solid outline to a dashed outline when I damaged them. And I'm just checking to see if any of the zombies have better clothes, but also just generally taking all the clothes for rag purposes. So I'm starting to take out these guys, and it looks like we have two runners coming up. Um, and it's nice that the one kind of got distracted or whatever, because as you saw there, they will dodge your attacks, and so having multiple runners at the same time can be really bad. You can run out of fatigue. You can see in the bottom right there's that orange meter. As the fatigue meter gets higher, you do less damage, and if you get grabbed while you have very high fatigue, you won't have the energy to escape their clutches, and you'll get bitten and get the virus. Now, depending on the strain of virus, there's green, blue, red, white, and then the invisible strain in the title of the game. Um, you'll have a certain amount of time to get a cure, and you can see that green strain cure or antigen, I think they call it, in my inventory. So it wouldn't be the end of the world, and green strain anyway takes a week to incubate. So yeah, oh, I just got grabbed there. Um, so it wouldn't be like the end of the run if I got bit by a green strain zombie, but it would be big resource usage because I literally only have one of them. Yeah, so once you want to focus their legs, so that way you can back up. Like there, here I have a very low or very high fatigue meter, so I want to just run. And there seems to be someone just walking by, so let's go check out there. They are orange on the minimap. If they were red, there would probably be a raider, and I would want to either avoid them or lure them into zombies, probably. Um, but since they're orange, they will probably be a refugee, which is great. Well, I mean, it's not great for him that he's a refugee, but it's great for us because it means there's someone who's very likely to join us even though we have nothing. Um, and I swear that these names are randomly generated, but yeah, that's Shane Grimes. I'm 99% sure at least that names are randomly generated. That's a little bit interesting. Um, yeah, so now that I've actually technically started a community now, I have two people. Still no food, unfortunately, but hopefully there'll be some in this jumbo jet. I've never seen a jumbo jet crash before. I've seen crashed helicopters. I've seen crashed like small. I don't know what to call them. Not like bi-wing planes, but like the ones where you have like just like a small like three people. So I decided to start ripping up the clothes since I have so many. So I'm gonna just cut here real quick. Oh, you can see Shane's stats. He has some really good stats. He actually is really great at firearms and pretty good at farming. Um, but yeah, he's better than us at basically everything, but not overall too amazing. So I just looted the nearby house. I got another backpack and a big wrench. The wrench is a pretty good melee weapon, but it does weigh 20 pounds. Um, but you'll just see how effective it is here in a second when these zombies undoubtedly charge me. Not yet. Here comes the first one. She did a little dodge, but then she leapt and got her legs maimed, I guess. I'm not very comfortable having multiple people fighting at once. Like, I don't feel like I'm necessarily targeting the right person or doing the right thing to, like, make the second person really effective. But that's something that we'll learn about in time, so I'm not too worried. And this is a pretty easy town. The green strain is the easiest, as I mentioned just a minute ago. Right in front of us, here's a workbench. You can build these yourself, but just finding one in the world is also just nice. And you can see at the top it mentions skinning a corpse, and that might seem a little gross. You get some meat, and you can use it as a distraction. You don't want to eat that meat, though. It is infected meat, so you definitely don't want to eat it. And you might have seen the recipe there for large backpacks, which I don't have one yet. Take 3 regular pairs of shoes, so I just wanted to grab a third pair of shoes just so I would have it whenever I eventually get enough string. And one great thing now, obviously water and a cooking book are great, but the baseball bat. I heard that the baseball bat is actually a lot better than it seems because you can take it to a workshop and turn it into a spiked bat without any other ingredient actually, which is maybe a little bit weird, but I'm not going to argue. And despite just getting a pipe, or no, just getting a wrench, the the spiked bat is actually going to be an even better melee weapon, I believe. Uh, so let's make sure I get that equipped. And yeah, much faster swing, weighs less, and it looks like it's just going to one-hit everybody. So that's incredible. Now let's just keep clearing out. Yeah, you can just see how many zombies there are around here. Oh, yep. Here comes some more. Yeah, just 3 runners at once, even with a second person, is a little haphazard. Yeah, I almost maxed out my fatigue there. That could have been if like one more runner, or if I had played a little bit worse there, I could have gotten bitten. And that obviously wouldn't be good. But there's just, what is it, like 2 more walkers? So we should be good from here. Yeah, there we go. So we're just leaving town. There's a police car over here. And, ooh, it looks like there are white zombies on the road. Is that what I think it is? Yes, those are white strain zombies, so those are really tough, as the hint even suggests. And I somehow managed to get, like, stuck in between some rocks with my co-op NPC dude just standing there blocking me in. So we're gonna head in a different direction. I guess we'll head kind of north. The black and white arrow in the lower left is like the compass. You need to the compass heading, so it's pointing north. And I guess I didn't ever mention this. The arrow in the bottom right of the minimap is the wind direction, and zombies and wildlife both can smell you. Um, and they can obviously they can see you as well. Um, so you do if you're sneaking around, and there is I think I've crouched already. You can see the little like kind of pine tree icon. That's your stealth meter, I guess you could call it. Um, Indicates just like if people notice you or how hidden you are. So I'm gonna just kind of head north and probably try to find a place somewhat near the river, because obviously the river gives you water, and water's good. But I'm gonna want some trees and also some water. So yeah, let's see if I can find a good spot to hide out. So I found a place that's kind of by the river, big flat open area with some trees around. So I figured this would be a great place to start. You can see all the different stuff we can build. There's a lot of different types of buildings. So I'm really excited to getting deeper into this game, because this is the farthest I've ever gotten. Um, yeah, so I'm going to just put a shack there. That'll be good for storing some regular stuff. Now, one problem is that I actually have to chop down the trees and, like, bring the wood over, as you might expect. But I've loaded both of them up with so much stuff that I actually have to do some inventory finagling in order to get it kind of situated and be able to actually carry the wood, which of course isn't, extremely light. So let me get started on that, and I'll be back in a second. Just bringing back the last piece of wood here. I even got a campfire going. I had to use one of my matches, unfortunately. You can use a hunting knife and flint. Fortunately, I haven't found any flint yet, so I'll have to be on the lookout for that, because I only have, so many matches. But yeah, now it's time to sleep about the night. Come on there, Shane. Come on, get inside, please. It's bedtime. Yeah, so now I can unload all of my crap and get some sleep, because they're both very tired. So I'll be doing that now. So just glancing at the map, and it looks like there's a refugee group walking by. You can see the little, like, people holding hands there. Just confirming that means, yeah, small group of refugees, usually fleeing a catastrophe. Yeah, that seems great. So I'm gonna try to, head them off. And yeah, see if we can get another recruit. That would be great. Already having 3 people in our community. Although we still have 0 food, so that's not so great. I left Shane behind because I didn't figure I'd need 2 people. I think he's just chopping wood or sleeping, whichever he can do. Looks like the group is just one, I think, lady here. Yeah, I'm not gonna rob you, don't worry. Okay, can we recruit you, please? Yeah, okay. Not the highest praise, but sure, now we have 3 people in our community. We have a Peyton Clark, it looks like, and let's just see what her stats are. She's an expert archer, or close to an expert archer, 4 out of 5 stars, and also 4 to 5 stars in medicine. That is really good. So if we keep her near base, she might be decent defense, and then also, like, decent medic we can run back to and have her heal. So I'm going to do some quick looting. She only had 1 arrow, unfortunately, so I don't know how helpful she's going to be, but I can't really just send her home, because she doesn't have anything. I guess I could give her my knife, but a knife isn't exactly the best close combat weapon as compared to, like, an axe or a spike bat or something like that. So yeah, I think I'm just going to do some quick looting. We are very low on food, and with a 3rd person, we're, in dire straits on food. But usually there's some food in towns. Oh, some bullets. That's not so hopeful. Usually there's some food in town, so if I can find another town, probably get enough food for us for a couple days. So we're just up the road, and I just found a bunch of arrows, which has gotten me thinking. I don't know if we need to keep going for a town. I think we could. She has the archery skills. She could just be our hunter, and we have. Um, I've seen rabbits near base, and I think I've seen some deer near our base as well. Just letting her use the arrows as a. I have set it so most of the community won't automatically use the arrows. Um, but she's awesome with arrows, so I'm just yeah, letting her do that. So I think I'm instead of searching for another town, I'm going to go back home after I kill this one infected, and maybe let her do some hunting. So that should be awesome. I'm not really experienced with hunting, so we'll see how that goes. It looks like there's another zombie coming over as well. Let's bash you in the head. There we go. So I'm just getting home with Steven and Peyton. The plan is to have Steven build the outhouse. I think the mission even told me I needed to build an outhouse. And also build another shack. I think each shack provides just 2 beds. So I'm going to need a second shack to satisfy 3 people. So let's get the outhouse placed. I don't know if it matters, like if it can, make things smell or make certain ground, bad or whatever. I don't know. Like if there's any sort of, I don't know, biological issues with that. Yeah, but let's go on a hunting trip. I don't have very much experience hunting, and I've never had someone so good with archery. You can actually see the little nose icon above the rabbit's head. Well, currently it's an eye. Of course, now as I say that, it's back to the nose. If you look at the wind direction, the wind is actually carrying my smell down to the rabbit. So I'm, is it downwind? And then upwind is the rabbit? I can never get those straight. I finished the outhouse, so let's start the shack. It's telling me to build a well, which I have the shovel to do, but I don't need a well quite yet. I have the river literally right there. So let's just get the shack placed. I think that's as good a place as any. Um, so, yeah, at least the way that I'm going about it, or the direction from which I'm going about this, I'm not probably going to get either of these rabbits right now because the wind is blowing my smell directly to them. I'm not really sure. She does a 4 out of 5 archery, but I don't really know how much, like, what that equates to. Like, is that a shot that I could reasonably make or not? That sort of thing. So let's just go after the deer. If I go from downhill here, and there's one up there somewhere. Oh, there's one right there. Then the smell, they'll be the one downwind, and they won't smell me. Let's wait for him to raise his head again. We're gonna just go directly for a headshot here. Oh, but he walked just out of range. Come on. Raise that head. It's walking away. Oh, but there we go. Perfect. Yeah, I wasn't sure about that. I figured it would take like 2 arrows at least, but evidently this is the silliest animation I've ever seen. But evidently 1 arrow will also kill it. That is awesome. I love the head of that deer. That's just awesome. I think this needs to be in Stage of Decay. So let me just carry this back to base and let Steven has like the most cooking, so he can skin it and cook it, and hopefully we'll have some food here pretty soon. So while we waited, it does actually take a while to cook all that meat. Peyton got a rabbit as well, so that'll be even more food for us. And I got, I think, 4 pieces of meat from the deer, which I figured translated into 4 steaks. Like edible cooked steaks. But you can see there are 4 pieces of meat on the thing, on the grill. You actually get you get 4 steaks per piece of meat of the deer, per piece of venison. So I'm actually like loaded with food now, plus the rabbit. We're gonna be eating good, and what's his name? Shane just woke up, getting something to eat. So we're doing great here, just sitting by the fire. Peyton wasn't quite tired enough to sleep yet, so I just had her sit by the fire. I'm just gonna point out the weather. There's actually seasons and weather in this game. I'm starting in late spring. I tried starting in mid-spring, but it like literally froze and snowed and stuff, and that wasn't very fun. And you can see my clothes on the left, the little blue bar underneath like my boots and my clothes, or my, what is it, trench coat. That means that they're damp, so they're not providing as much insulation. I think that's going to be it for today. We've got a little bit of a base going. Let's get some water. Get a little bit of a base going. We need to finish off that second shack, but we have food, we have water, and my dude is standing in the middle of a stream. Not the best way to warm up. But yeah, we're actually like a community now, so that's incredible. I think that'll do it for today. I think Peyton just went to bed. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one.